Hi, my name is Alex Scales, and after watching the documentary featuring Jackson Kratz about the ideas of violent masculinity being seen in the media, there are a couple of sociological terms I really want to discuss about being seen throughout this film. One of the main ones I want to talk about is the idea of white supremacy. Now, this is defined as a concept in the United States where people of white or European descent believe they are better than and have greater powers and responsibilities than individuals of other races. Now, this is a definition I get from the textbook Gender, Race, Class, and Media, 6th edition. And this is a concept really discussed in chapter 26 about how white supremacy is being seen in the media, in particular about how when people of other races aren't being portrayed, they're being seen as aggressive, violent, and non-civilized. An example of this being shown in the documentary is a short clip shown from the movie Smoke Signals, in which two Native American men have a conversation about how they should act stoic and seem aggressive when they are out in public because that's what their white counterparts expect them to be and how to act. Now, this is more of an anecdotal example because it's really just a generalization of this social idea of how Native American men are supposed to be seen and act. But what Kratz does after this analysis is also showing how men of all races are taking on this aggressive behavior because that's what's being seen as violent masculinity and how they can prove themselves to be manly. And so, this idea of white supremacy is really being tied back into the idea of violent masculinity being necessarily seen as being tough and how you are supposed to act as a man. Now, the other term I want to talk about is sexism. And in chapter 11 of the textbook Gender, Class, Race, and Media, what it is defined as is members of one sex seeing the other ones as not being as capable of being able to perform certain social duties. And so they are then being seen as lesser than and objectified. Now, in the documentary, this is really seen when the statistic is shown that 99.8% of rapists who are in jail are male. Now, this is an empirical example because researchers had gone out and gotten this information from all the public jails in the United States because they were curious as to why males are mainly the only ones performing this sexual assault. And really, it comes down to the fact that in the media and in our culture, they're being told that in order to be manly, they have to be objectifying to women and that they should believe that they are stronger than them and that they should be seen as only objects who men could take whatever they want from these women because they're entitled to it. And that's what our media is telling these young men, and that's why we're seeing it in the real world as a real problem. And so when we are trying to diverge from this violent masculinity culture, taking a look at how it's affecting not only men but women is a big part of really getting people into deciding that they want to make a change in this setting. Now, if this documentary were done today, I think my ideas about white supremacy and sexism would remain the same. And these would be topics that Jackson Katz would be talking about in the same way because we're still seeing these phenomenons in our current social media. The only thing that would change is that advertising companies are actually embracing a lot of the ideas coming from political movements that weren't before, and I think this would be an interesting setting for that to be viewed in. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.